I have fallen so many times just walking across the living room in flip-flops.
My sister literally plays in Crocs, not even in sport mode.
This is Big Dink Energy, the pickleball podcast that's half insight, half nonsense, and all entertainment. If you love pickleball, don't take yourself too seriously and think a little trash talk makes the game better, welcome home. This is the place where life and pickleball intersect. We celebrate the chaos, call out the nonsense, and put the fun back in dysfunction. You're either in or you're out. And if you're still listening, you're in. So let's go. Big Dink Energy starts now. Welcome back to Big Dink Energy Podcast. We're so glad you're joining us again. This is the part of our podcast where we do a little kitchen talk, and you're sitting around the counter with us. Paddle Princess had something that we were talking about, social media recipe post where I'm not getting the recipe and I'm just getting your life story. They're just going on and on about this. And I listen, the bread looks great. I just want the recipe for the bread.
It absolutely drives me crazy. I was looking at a recipe for cottage cheese chips. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting because, you know, as we get older, we want all of that extra protein and all of that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, great. I'm scrolling through and scrolling, and I'm literally hitting the thing and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And it's this person's entire life story. I don't care about how many kids you have. I don't care about what part of your menopause journey you're on. All I want is the recipe for the dang gum chips.
Yeah, I don't need to know why your second cousin got married over this stir fry.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, Karen, I get that you went through Tuscany and you're showing us the lasagna. I just want to know how to layer the noodles. You know what I mean? I don't care about the streets you walk down and all that kind of stuff.
If I can watch somebody make an entire meal in a 3-minute TikTok, then I should be able to have the recipe there, and it should take me 20 seconds to read it. Put the ingredients, put the recipe. That's all you need to do. You don't need all the extra fluff. It's just annoying.
Whenever I see it, I'm like, damn it, Susan.
Right?
Like, I just get so angry. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need dinner, not a damn novel.
Well, so I don't, this is not the side of TikTok or social that I'm on usually. I'm very simple. Let's ground some beef and let's put it in a taco shell. And you all out there can chime in, get on our socials and tell us what you think about this too. But are you scrolling because you're hungry and you're like, I want to eat right now. I'm hungry now.
Yes.
Like, give me the recipe.
Hungry.
Well, a lot of times my husband and I will sit down on Sunday morning and we will find recipes that we want to make for the week, and we go grocery shopping on Sunday, and we want all of the recipes to be easy. So I want to screenshot the recipe with the ingredients and maybe 2 screenshots, and that's it. But when I have to continue scrolling to find it all, it's too much trouble. I'm not going to make your recipe now.
Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not really making recipes. But I will say, like, I think there needs to be, like, an asterisk at the top, and then that tells you you're going to have to let this sit overnight. That pisses me off.
Yes.
Because I'm like,
gosh.
oh, get all this stuff together.
Chill
and then
in
it's
the
like,
freezer for 6 hours.
Yeah, no, ma'am.
What?
This was dinner tonight. Who is planning like that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is too much. And I always Google 5-ingredient meatloaf, 5-ingredient this, because I
Can I
only
make
have,
it in the Instapot?
Yeah.
We may only have 4 of the ingredients.
9 times out of the 10, we only have 3. But yeah, it just aggravates me. I don't want to chill anything. I don't want to let anything wait. I'm not mixing. I'm definitely not mixing like dry first and then wet. No.
Oh.
Just put it. Just put it in a bowl.
See, I will do that. Stephanie does not have the patience for that at all.
Yeah, that's why Paddle Princess had to come over and help you make a good bread pudding versus your 5-ingredient bread pudding.
That was one time.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, I guess. But so I'm older school than that. I just go to the Google, and a lot of the recipes on Google will just say
Google? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the recipes on the Google, because I go down to the Walmart too, will just say, do you want to go to the recipe? I don't have to go through the video and all that. No, I just click, I hit that hyperlink.
And the ads that pop in, I'm like,
oh yes.
I just get so agitated. And then when I do scroll and it's like prep time, 45, done.
Yeah.
Done. Or when you accidentally try to click the little itty bitty tiny minuscule X and then this whole ad pops up. No.
I just stop when it's like prep time is longer than 10 minutes. I'm out.
So you're doing.
Done.
So now you're doing five ingredient recipes in 10 minutes or less.
I'll write a cookbook. Everybody would buy it, and I would not tell my life story.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, what am I doing with these onions? And I don't need to know about your dog's arthritis. Are we sautéing them? Are they going
Thank
raw?
you.
And how
What
about
is
the
going
TikToks
on?
where it's like showing showing them cutting up. I know how to cut a damn onion.
Right, it doesn't
like,
matter how
just
the onion
say
is
cut and then it's chop, and we see that. I mean, yes,
chop,
I rough.
whatever.
Like,
I
do
rough
they
cut.
need to be thickly sliced or just
I don't
little
care.
pieces?
See, that's that's your difference, Paddle Princess.
Yes, because I am very sensitive to onions. So
I don't
to
Not
me,
just that, but
that matters to me.
down to the detail of, I want to make this recipe look like the one in the video.
I do try. I do. I always fail, but I do ultimately try because I love to cook for people and I love to bake for people. So I try to follow the recipe to the T because I want it to come out nice because I like it when people enjoy something that I created. But it never does. So I'm just not good at it, but I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, thanks for your cookie recipe, Karen, and your little tour of your divorce. It's been thank you. All right, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsor, Dink Balls. Think your game's too serious for fun balls? Got them right here. Well, as we say in Texas, bless your heart. Dink Balls are here to shake up your court time. USAPA made, built for legendary rallies, and designed for players who know the best games come with a side of laughter, not a scoreboard. Every purchase supports our military and first responders. You want to feel good about yourself when you're playing with your balls out there. I know you do. So let's be real. Your ball should do more than just bounce. Stop settling for bland. Upgrade your game at dinkandballs.com. That's DINKN balls.com. Dink and Balls. Play with confidence, even if you shouldn't.
It's time for Pickle Pal.
All right, so if you stayed with us long enough to this portion of the podcast, you know it's one of my absolute favorites. It's where we meet the people and places that surround pickleball. Listen, you're on this podcast because you love pickleball just like I do, even if you're a mediocre player just like me. You're figuring out where you're going to play your next game, where you're going to find your next love of a place to be. And so I'm so glad to have my friend Kim here from Texas House of Pickleball up in the Granbury area. Kim, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So how did you come to pickleball? Because you have a kind of a diverse background. You've got the golf, you've got music, art, been a producer of a bunch of different things. So how'd you get to pickleball?
Actually, I retired and I found retirement boring. And I was going through kind of a loss and depression kind of thing. I'll say pickleball saved my life. You know, it got me out. I think the reason we do what we do from a player standpoint and from building what we did is the social connection.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
Pickleball. I mean, I love the game. I've always been in sports, love the game. But I think even if you're non-athletic, you should try pickleball because, you know, I've never left a pickleball match that I have never been able to walk away and say I didn't laugh.
Right.
I didn't feel good.
Right.
I didn't have fun. I didn't have some interaction that was really great.
You know, I found the other day, and this may help a little bit. So pickleball, I was doing a little bit of research. A match of pickleball is like a 3-mile run. So now I consider myself an endurance athlete, obviously, after reading something like that. And so now I feel comfortable telling people, well, I'm an athlete for sure, you know?
There you go. You know, it's so funny because yesterday at the club, this guy walked in and he had never played before we opened, and he has just become our anthem child, you know, because he's now in that intermediate league, in-house league, and he won a tournament last Saturday at our place.
Wow.
So shout out to Mark. But he told me yesterday, he said, you know, since y'all opened 4 months ago, I've lost 30 pounds and I'm not doing anything different but playing pickleball.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel you, man. I did the same thing. It got me in shape. It got me in mental shape. It helped me emotionally and physically. You're having fun. You don't notice it. I mean, tell me, unless you're a gym fanatic, there's nothing like pickleball because you don't have to think about it. You just get in shape without even thinking, having a great time.
Yeah, and that's really the great draw, I think, for a lot of people is, like you said, they're sitting around, they're like, well, you know, what am I going to do today? You know, we have 365 days of good enough pickleball weather here in Texas. I was talking to someone from Maine or Massachusetts yesterday, and I'm like, you got 1 month of summer up there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we're in central Texas, you're up in the north part of Texas, so you get more of the seasons than we do. But yeah, that's really what it is. I can actually get out. I can do something. It's not too intense, but it's intense enough that I get all the benefits. And you brought out the mental side of it. I really love that side of it. You know, one of our sponsors on the podcast is Dink and Balls, and they give back to the military and law enforcement communities. And
Great.
And it's all about that drive of, hey, you know, decompress, go play some pickleball, get out there and just have some fun with it and raise that mental awareness too. I love that. So tell me about House of Pickleball.
Well, I'm going to go against something you just said because being where we are weather-wise, yesterday everybody was like, oh my God, we were coming in to get out of the cold and the rain that we've been having lately. Now we're going to start coming in to get out of the heat because we're indoors.
Yeah.
We have 8 indoor courts, a very unique design in that we have 2 buildings that are 4 courts each, connected by a huge lobby and pro shop and a big patio in the back.
Wow.
So we can have like corporate events going on 4 courts in one separate building, and a open play or, league play or birthday parties or anything going on in the other 4. Our layout allows for really a wide array of activities, which is fun. But we're climate controlled. Probably the most unique factor about our place that people love is the cushion courts. We have 5 layers of rubber, 2 layers of acrylic, and so it plays like an outdoor surface. The ball bounces just like an outdoor concrete surface, but it's very, very easy on the joints.
That's so nice.
Well, we kind of built it as a training facility, So we have, 4-0 up players who are just discovering us, who are now coming in and doing, money ball tournaments and in-house leagues and doing their own things. And they say, I can play 6, because they're dedicated players. They're like, I can play 6 hours on this surface, and it feels like I've been outside it would be what I'd be outside for 1 hour.
Wow.
As far as knee joints and everything. So we think that's our most unique factor, but also we built it as players, we're players. Mm-hmm. And so, we got like 10-foot service area, 16-foot between courts, soft netting, court containment, ball containment areas. So it's roomy. It's 30-foot ceilings, no barriers, no poles anywhere in the facility in the interior. It's kind of a player's dream.
Yeah, that's incredible. And then you can use just about any equipment you want in that environment. Oh yeah. And I'm sure you get all sides of it, right? You get the $300 paddle all the way down to the wooden paddle that I know I started with, and I still have in my bag just in case someone needs a paddle at some point.
Well, we if you don't play, we do first time's free for everybody. We provide the paddles and balls. Come on in. And I think what we're most proud of is that, Granbury has a pretty focused pickleball group. There was a really good group of players already there and had nowhere to play but the Y. They'd never played on a real court surface,
okay.
Played on gym floor. So this is a new experience for a lot of them. But what we're most proud of is the community that we've built from the ground up.
Yeah.
We've got 5 in-house leagues running now, and 90% of those are people who we taught to play the game.
Wow.
Who just stayed in it and progressed, and moving on up. So that's great. We're building a community there.
Yeah, and that's the other great thing about pickleball. I can walk in and, my shirt says, "What's a duper," right? But then you got 4 O's in there and 5 O's that are, they're, I don't know too much about pickleball, and they know a ton about pickleball. But when we get on the court, it's just a fun way to connect with people. That community, I don't know where I've seen that kind of community other than maybe the motorcycle community. The motorcycle community kind of coalesces around each other, doesn't care. 2 wheels is 2 wheels, and so pickleball is pickleball. It doesn't, whether you're playing with a Franklin or you're playing with a Dynam or whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all just here to have fun.
Yeah.
Number one is the model.
What I find in this crazy world right now that is so divided is exactly what you said. When you walk onto the court, when you walk into our building, it's like there's always people just hanging out in the lobby drinking free coffee and talking, and that's great too, But it's the community spirit of it that I just love. It brings people together, and we don't have to talk about anything that's divisive because we've got a common, goal there.
Yeah, I used to work for Walmart Logistics, the warehouse side of Walmart at a high level. And we would have all these team events. We would have team building events for all the manager groups. And now I'm just thinking, like you brought up with your courts, you could have corporate events now just surrounding pickleball. Yeah. And everybody, every style of life, every weight class, so to speak, can be right there and be on the court and just share a unique team building experience. So, that's the other side of pickleball.
And that's it. We're starting to get some corporate events exactly like that. And so we have them in one building. If they only need 4 courts, we got them in one building and another event going on in the other building or open play or whatever. And I love our design for that feature. But one of the most interesting things we actually had a bridal shower.
Whoa, okay.
This lady called. She said, look, pickleball's my thing. And she brought her, 12, 15 people out, and they had their party there. We've had tons of birthday parties and corporate events, but I think that's the most unique.
Yeah. So you're only months away from a wedding then, right? A full-on wedding at the court.
Exactly. Well, I probably have the wedding there next. Yeah.
And for all the listeners out there that don't know about Granbury, Granbury is one of those neat little towns up in the north part of Texas that is just nestled in there. They have a huge man-made lake. For y'all who don't know, most of the lakes in Texas are man-made lakes. Lake right there. They have a really cool community surrounded by a lot of cool things to do. So, Kim, when I come up there to Granbury or anybody comes in, what are some of the other things connected in that area that are a definite on your list of, also go do this?
Well, first of all, Granbury has a beautiful little town square. And if
Right.
you've never been to a Texas small town that has a beautiful courthouse and town square, you got to experience that. So you can walk that. And we are literally 9/10 of a mile from the town square. I had a member who I met there last week at our place. And I said, "Where's your car?" And he said, "I walked. I was downtown
Right.
and just walked." And I'm like, okay, it's a cool, easy walk. When you walk from our place, from the square to our place, you're going to pass a beautiful park. You're going to pass historic buildings. You're going to kind of get the history of the town of Granbury. But we have 2 wineries there. So they have a wine walk, a wine crawl, sorry.
It depends on what point you start, right?
Exactly. Where'd you jump into this? I think they're having a jazz festival this week, and there's just like always activities going on. They have a theater right on the square that hosts bands and cover bands, and there's always shows going on there. You got to check out the Paradise Coffee Bistro, which is a really cool hang. And walk the square.
It is so nice up there. And North Texas is where you get all the seasons. We're here in Central Texas. We get 2. We get cold and then not so cold. So Granbury is voted best historic small town. You also are the celebration capital. You guys have a ton of celebrations up there.
You name it, we celebrate it. And parades, we'll be in the St. Patrick's Day parade coming up and the 4th of July parade. We have a lot of parades.
Yeah. And for you listening that aren't from Texas, I know the first word you think about when you hear Texans are humility.
Right. We hear that a little bit with our courts because the people who walk into our building, the first expression is always, "Wow, I had no idea it was this big and this open." And it's kind of like, we are Texas.
Yeah. That's right.
Why would we build something
Listen,
small?
we have waffles in the shape of our state. I mean, come on.
There you go.
So Kim, by now you've seen some people come through that are definite what we would call characters for your courts. Anything that just sticks out to you? The characters. Let me hear about them.
Well, they might be listening, so I'm going to be careful with that.
Yeah, we can use code words if we need to protect the guilty or innocent.
Well, before we opened, I had people coming to us asking me, my question is, will everybody be included? And I said, I don't even know why you're asking that. Well, because sometimes, we go and people won't let us play because it's this click or it's that click. So that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. Consequently, we have some really interesting matches.
Sure.
We have some people, because the 4-0 players can be in one whole building by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to intimidate anybody or be bothered by anybody. Beginners could be in a whole other area. So we love that we have that separation factor and that inclusion factor. So consequently, we may have cheerleading going on during the game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And what we found is we have some really talented kids. We're just now tapping into the youth market. But we've got a 12-year-old kid who comes who is amazing and very quiet and intimidates, after the first game.
Sure.
It's kind of like a pool shark,
Yeah.
I'll take the kid on,
Yeah.
And then you realize, okay, maybe I'll show some respect here,
Yeah, that's right.
But we do. We have a mother-son duo who actually won first place in the intermediate division in our tournament last Saturday, and he's amazing. And they play together, a lot. We just started a couples league because they wanted it. And ironically, no names. They're coming to us now going, okay, we love the couples league, but can we switch up so I don't have to play with my husband all the time?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Can it still be couples, but we don't have to stay with the same couple all the time?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
okay. No names here, but we can arrange this.
Yeah, there was some of the ones we talked to, they had singles night, and then one of the ones we talked to recently had goat yoga because they had some outdoor courts, obviously. So, I mean, you're not going to have a bunch of goats in your indoor facility.
Please,
but
no.
it just, pickleball lends itself to so many just events like that or specialty, novelty things that we can do with it and still have fun with the game.
And, because we have this beautiful patio out back, and we've only been open a few months, so this will be the weather's finally getting good for us. But we have happy hour pickleball, where you come and play 4 to 6, and then we have music on the patio afterwards. And it's always local performer. We do some acoustic shows 2 or 3 times because I come from a music background. So 3 or 4 times a year, we're going to do big concerts, outdoor full band. But the acoustic music, we're going to try and do a couple times a month.
Right.
Because we had people showing up at 2:00 to just set up their lawn chairs and make sure they had a good seat on the patio.
That's awesome.
For the music.
That's Texas.
Then they go in and play pickleball for 2 hours and come back out and catch the food truck and enjoy some music.
That's Texas right there. So you said food trucks, right? Any signature dishes that people need to definitely try when they come?
Barbecue's always good. The pulled pork is great.
Oh, yeah.
It can't beat that, and the tacos.
Yeah. Don't come from out of state and think your state has the best barbecue. We will shut that down in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we will. Definitely. No argument there.
So you've been in this for a little while, and you've been a producer of a lot of different things. Let me ask you, what's the neatest or greatest thing or projection you have maybe for pickleball 5 years from now?
I see kind of a separation of the business. There's definitely, but like any sport, once it's out there for a while, there's going to be the professional end of it. And that's great. And we tried to build according to that because, like I say, we're a training facility. We're designed as a training facility for great players. We're also a wonderful place to start the game and to learn the game and to cultivate it. So I see more of a division between professional and amateur, competitive and recreational. But we want to kind of cater to both of those markets and bring them together because what we're finding is that as we attract more really 4.0 and up players, they're coming, they're using the ball machine. They're just really working on their skills. They're doing skills and drill sessions. They're doing private lessons. At the same time, they're very open and friendly to other people learning from them. So like Mark, the guy I mentioned before, who's come so far, it's because he'll play with anybody. And because he's a personality like we talked about, that it's such a fun sport that connects everybody, that he's been allowed to kind of play with some of those great players and up his game.
That's awesome.
That's how he's progressed so well because you have a facility that invites really great players and they're comfortable there, and that also welcomes recreational players. And then the two they get to interact.
Yeah.
So I see those things being divisive. That will always have a recreational group who don't want to, or either because they're scared of it, they're too old, or they're too unathletic, or whatever. They just aren't interested in the professional. I see the professionals who are becoming more welcoming, or at least at our place, who are becoming more welcoming to the rec players, and they interact and they respect and appreciate each other and learn from each other. And I love that.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. I've never been on a court where someone came over and gave me a tip that I was like, why? Don't talk to me. You know what I mean? Bring it all. Tell me everything that I'm doing wrong. Show me how I could be better. And I'm a rec player. I'll always be a rec player.
Me too.
When I look at pickleball now and seeing some of the big names that are buying teams and stuff like that, and the multi-million dollars that are out there floating around, I'm telling people right now, you're going to see it in the Olympics. It's going to be in the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it's 2 years, 4 years. I don't know what the timeline is.
Yeah,
but it will be. It's going to replace something because it's just so fun to watch too.
Well, it's funny because when we built our place, Jody said, "I want to raise the first Olympic pickleball player from Granbury.
Nice.
I want to raise them on our courts, and develop them." And so we're just now starting to get the youth market, interested in it in our area. And so that's one of our goals. We want to raise an Olympic champion on our courts. And the fun thing is, we got some, 12, 14-year-olds. We've had 3 birthday parties in the last couple of months of 14-year-olds.
Wow.
And they're bringing like 20, 25 kids with them to their parties. And they are players. Some of them had never played before, but a lot of them are good.
Yeah.
And so it's very exciting to see that, And I see that there's going to be a pro market, but look at football, look at baseball. There's always going to be that pro market and something to aim for, but there's still always going to be, just recreational that builds character and fun and unites people. Yep. Everybody doesn't have to turn pro. So I think it's really fun at our level to see those two groups coming together and fight in the middle.
How do they get more information about Texas House of Pickleball?
TXHOPCLUB.com.
All right.
Texas Hop Club. TexasHopClub.com. If you want to do me personally, Kim at TexasHopClub.com.
Okay.
But we got events coming up. You can find out all about that. We're growing to the point that we're kind of ready to take on a managing partner to kind of help us with this growth. So if you know anybody that's passionate about pickleball, has a head for business, and would like to jump in on investing with us and coming along on the ride, then pass along my info. But mostly just come check us out.
Yep. If you're here in the great United States of Texas, please go up to Granbury and find Texas House of Pickleball. And if you're not, get to Texas and go up to Granbury and go to Texas House of Pickleball, find Kim and everything they got going on up there. Absolutely love it. And the last question I have then, Kim, is if House of Pickleball had a theme song or even you had your own walk-on music when you came on the court, what would that be?
Well, I think speaking for myself and my partners, it would probably be Our House, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Yes.
Because we have set out to create a place that's just warm and welcoming to everybody and that everybody helps build.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for spending time with us today, Kim. It's absolutely been my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And you're close enough to us. You know we're going to
You better
cross.
come see me on the court.
You know it. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing my
All right.
I'm bringing my wooden paddle that I may spray paint myself.
Come on, bring it. It's welcome.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Go destroy.
All right, so let's talk about playing in the appropriate footwear. Now, I wanted to take this playing in Crocs initially for Dink or Destroy. Now, Dink or Destroy it's either a thumbs up and a yes, or it's a thumbs down and it's a no. We're going to send it over the net as we approve it, or we're going to pass on it. Listen, playing in the approved footwear, playing pickleball in Crocs, whatever you want to say, cowboy boots. I just think it's, as I get older, and maybe it's just me, but playing in the appropriate footwear is necessary if you're going to be this high level of an athlete like I am. My Duper score is 1.5, by the way, in case Duper's looking for someone that's a 1.5 and they want to start that low barrier like that. But now I know, Steph, you have a take on this as well.
We're all staring at Stephanie during this point.
Yes.
So I am
What's your official pickleball shoe? By the way?
Right. So how's your ankle?
So I have always played in the glorified slipper with a marketing budget, which is Hey Dudes.
Yeah. Hey Dudes, official sponsor of Pickleball UP.
Hey, if you want to sponsor, we're here.
Because when I started playing, it was just, oh, let's do this, and whatever I was wearing, you know.
Right.
I mean,
At the time.
pretty much still is, but my ankle, like,
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about your ankle, Steph.
Yes.
it was so swollen. I didn't know why. I hadn't done anything, and then
It looked like your ankle had swallowed a dinking ball.
and then
It had its own pickleball.
figured it out. It was because I've been playing hours and hours of pickleball in Hey Dudes.
Yeah, and the approved footwear of pickleball tournaments everywhere. Hey Dudes, yeah, for sure. Known for their support and their traction.
I mean, they're great to go grab some beer, but I mean, definitely not for lateral movement, I would say.
And so for the fellows in the audience, I just want to say my part here. She asked me about it, and the immediate thing I said was the shoes you wear every day have no support. And then, of course, fellas, you probably get this also. She had to chat GPT that sucker, but she had Guy GPT already. So chat GPT told her the same thing.
It said, I asked, like, why is my ankle swollen? And then I was like, could it be because I use Hey Dudes while playing pickleball? Within like half a second, it was all absolutely.
It also probably said, ask your husband.
Without a doubt.
It said, that is the reason.
It said, look over and ask your husband. He already told you.
But then I went looking for shoes, you know, so I could, because I like to play a lot and I don't want to have a bum ankle. And the shoes were expensive.
Shoes
Yeah.
are so expensive nowadays.
So I ended up getting.
You got some really nice ones.
I don't know.
Those
Nike
Nikes.
Metcons.
The ones
Metcons.
that the CrossFitters wear, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just asked ChatGPT what the best shoes were.
They're kind of an all-sport shoe.
Yeah. And so I've played over the last 5 days. I played for 5 days. Amazing.
Yep.
Like total difference.
But then what did you do in Hey Dudes?
Oh, but then I climbed Wilson's Arch.
Wilson's Arch in Utah.
Yeah. I was like, no, I don't feel like changing my shoes.
In Hey
It's
Dudes
just
with her swollen ankle.
Guess who has a swollen ankle today?
So I want to say destroy because it destroyed my ankle.
I would say that, definitely.
But I do feel like if you're just getting started, like that shouldn't be the reason to stop you to
Yeah.
go play one
Oh,
game.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
it was the one game that did it. Or if I'm driving and, you know, it's like, oh, let's jump out and play for 30 minutes. I don't want that to stop anybody. So.
Hold on, guys. I got to get my pickleball shoes.
No,
And
you don't have to go buy pickleball
My sister
shoes.
literally plays in Crocs,
Every
not
time.
even in sport mode.
See, that's the thing. I'll
That
get my
is
butt whooped by a
crazy
kid
to
in
me.
Crocs, but I got my Reebok on, my CrossFit shoes. I think, okay, here's...
Age.
Yes, let's
Age.
go
I
by
I think
age.
age and
And-
repetitiveness.
True.
If you
Yeah.
want to play pickleball for a while, then get some decent shoes. Don't just...
Or be a child.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go out and get like the fanciest, nicest shoes. Just get some shoes that support
Right,
your
because
feet.
I wanted mine so I could do my walks every day and exercise in them. I didn't want to be buying like 9 pairs of shoes, and I definitely didn't want to be like, hold on, let me get my pickleball shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe one day, but
We're not at that level.
we're not at that level, and I definitely don't want to be that person and then go out there and be like, you had no reason to put those on, ma'am.
Those did not help you.
It was 0-12 in 10 minutes.
So, I mean, it's a destroy for me if you are a seasoned person, as an older person, or you've had
Or
like,
mature.
yeah, or if you've had like ankle injuries or you're heavier.
Why are you looking at me?
No, I mean,
I'm
or
only
you're-
getting 5-ingredient food at my house. So.
or you're playing for a long, a continuous
Right.
time, like
Yeah.
every day or some repetitiveness, like Paddle Princess said, repetitiveness.
Yeah, I don't think it's you don't have to have the right shoes and the right equipment. That's what pickleball is all about, right? Just showing up and trying something new and then realizing, okay, all the disposable income I did have is going to be gone now because I love this sport. So don't let shoes hold you back on the court. It's going to be, I wish we had a halfway mark, but I think it's a destroy for me as well. Whatever you can get into pickleball get in, but realize your limitations maybe.
Yeah. How about you?
It's a complete destroy for me. After seeing your ankle, I am extremely scared to go play in any other shoes but supportive tennis shoes. And then it just scares me when I see people out there in their Crocs, or the one guy that we did an interview with who was talking about somebody on his court won in flip-flops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that would just give me a panic attack watching him the whole time, because I have fallen so many times just walking across the living room in flip-flops. To see somebody playing a full pickleball game, no, that's a complete destroy for me.
Destroys all around.
Found, heard, and learned.
All right, something that we found, something we heard, and something we learned from this week. Paddle Princess, you've got something that you're really excited about that you found.
Yes. So this is not sponsored in any way. I just want to put that out there. But
Not
what
yet.
I found is the Go Sports Sip and Serve Pickleball Paddle Flask.
Okay.
It is a 20-ounce food-grade container disguised as a pickleball paddle. So you can be on the pickleball court, you unscrew the handle, take yourself a big swig, and screw it back on and keep playing your game. That, for me, is the ultimate convenience. You don't have to stop your game. You don't have to go and buy yourself a drink. You have it right there, ready to go. I love it, and I want to make my own.
This is next level commitment right here.
Well,
I
yeah,
love it.
especially when you're talking about questionable footwear. Now we have questionable decisions also on the court. Listen, for me, everybody knows
Just to
that
have a nice margarita in there.
No. Taking the pickleball paddle and turning it upside down is a microphone. Everybody knows that. That's what it is. And then you turn it sideways, it's a guitar. That's the only thing I'm doing with my paddle. But I kind of like it. I see where it's going. I could put a scotch in there and kind of an after game little highball, if you will, and get a cigar going with my paddle.
I mean, sneaky, innovative, respect.
Okay.
I respect it.
Yeah. I get it.
I want it.
She'll have it.
I want to make my own. You can get those hydration backpacks. You don't need it in a.
I'm not,
Nobody's wearing a backpack.
no, I'm not playing great, but I'm playing fun.
That's the point.
That's
Maybe
a cool
it'll make
one.
my pickleball game better.
Okay, something I heard this week that I thought was unique, and I think we're going to see more of it. And Paddle Princess, this is right up your alley. Maybe not yours, but for your daughter. Thrift store paddle haul.
Oh my gosh, she would love that.
Yes. So,
Yes.
we're going to see $5 pickleball paddles at Goodwill and retro stores and all those stores that are out there. I can see it now. There's going to be a market for it. There's going to be a need because there's so many people. I want to try a bunch of different paddles, but I'm going to land on one that I like. So what do I do with these other paddles? You know what I mean? And I'm not buying the $300 paddles, but if I want to get a return on my Dollar Tree paddle, I definitely want to put it on a marketplace somewhere, right?
I haven't been fortunate enough to find a good paddle anywhere, or even a paddle at all.
Not yet.
I see a lot of roller skates.
Yeah, but I know this is coming. I saw an article about it. Someone had mentioned something about, they found a pickleball paddle at a thrift store.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I think this is going to start being a
I could
thing.
I could
Oh, my
definitely
daughter
see
and I
that.
love to go thrifting.
Same.
Yeah,
All
and
the
so,
time.
but now think about this. So pickleball's kind of new-ish, right?
Right.
And so Now we're going to be finding vintage paddles on down the road because we're getting foam-filled ones now, and you'll be finding the vintage paddles on down the road. And they'll be collectible.
Vintage, like 5 years old now?
Yeah. So
No, but when I was hiking up that mountain,
Wilson's Arch.
this guy was following behind us. We found out he was 80 years old. And as soon as he said that, I was like, do you play pickleball? And he was like, I have been for 15 years.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
15 years? Was he
Dang,
even invented this?
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing. And
Okay.
that's where he was traveling back from, was he was traveling around. And of course, I looked down, I was like, is that your truck with the bike on it? And he's all, yes, ma'am. He rides a bike too.
Like a
and plays
bicycle?
yeah, bicycle.
Okay.
And was playing pickleball, traveling
You
around.
meant
I
biker.
love that.
Yeah. So I just
So
thought
maybe
that was
there are some
15
vintage
years.
pickleball paddles
Yeah.
I
out
mean, I know
there.
it's been around a long time, but
Hey, dude, 40 years older than me. Way to make me look bad and feel bad with all your biking and Wilson Arch hiking and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah, he was awesome.
That's so cool.
And then, Steph, you had a learned for sure. I know I heard
Yes.
from you.
So we were playing at the Pickler in Salt Lake City, and
Utes, go Utes.
the Utes. And these two guys, were playing, and we're like, okay, do you want to play with us? They said yes. So we started playing, and he hit the ball, and it went between my sister and I. And he's like, Divorce Alley. And I was like, oh, what's that? And he's like, that's what they call it when it goes in between the two people, because there's that miscommunication. It's always like, oh, I thought you had it. Oh, I thought you had it. And so that's why they
I
call
can
that
see that.
Divorce Alley. But I mean, if both the people are alphas and think they should go for it, then they're going to.
Then they're going to hit each
Divorce
other.
Alley is couples counseling. So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's
It's
a pretty
called
cool term. I've never heard that
Divorce
before.
Alley.
I mean, there's probably less in Divorce Alley if we're drinking from our paddles, right?
Yeah, if you're drinking from your paddles, there's going to be a lot more of those.
Yeah. You
That
look
no
good.
man's land, like straight down the middle, and it's
We're
just
just,
like
there to have fun.
That's it for this episode. Unless you've got something to say, think we got it wrong, have a better take, we want to hear it. Find us at bdepodcast.com or at BDE Podcast on the socials. Drop us a message. We might just feature you in the next episode. If you had a good time, well, samesies. If not, maybe try again. We grow on people. So you know the deal. Follow the show, tell a friend, and leave us a review. Or just pretend this never happened. Until next time, keep the dink soft and the energy big.